Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this update we are going to talk about a couple things. One is, how are you managing your current trading life? Is trading right now something that you are being opportunistic on long-term time frames? Maybe it's a weekly as you rebuild a longer-term portfolio or your position trades. Perhaps it is also something that we're going to do on a daily, where you find trends in, say, the XLF or XLC, to sector ETFs that represent the weakest corner of the market in the S&P, that's XLF, and then the NASDAQ, that's XLC. Are you finding those proxies via sectors and following those trends? That's something that I'm doing in the Sector Secrets Mastery. But in the futures room, one of the great things about being a futures trader is the access you have to the market outside of the 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern window, right? If we have an 8:30 a.m. hot zone, as we did today in the, I'm going to show you that right now, as we did today in the PPI, is that something that at 8:30 you have a viable setup and a process for? Let's say there's something happening in the evening. Maybe you want to take advantage of a Chinese GDP release at 10 p.m. That's another day trading window. And these windows are really exclusively, in many ways, going to be available to Forex and futures traders. This is not going to be a stock or stock option or ETF option window. So that's one of the exciting things about being a futures trader, or even better, being fluent across multiple time frames and asset classes. Now, from a time frame perspective, going into the PPI this morning, 8:30 a.m., I ready myself around 20 after 8. So this is not a big prep time. Why does it not have to be a big prep time? Well, because I already have the resistance and the support that I'm focused on the screen. It doesn't matter if it's 9 to 10 o'clock. It doesn't matter if it's 8 to 8:30. Here's my resistance, here's my support. And this was the window specific to the CPI. The data comes out at 8:30. We are going to expectedly have a high volatility candle. The volatility is not surprising. We know a hot zone is going to trigger this kind of movement. What we do need to have is an understanding of the path of least resistance. In my most recent day trading class, we talked about how we could use a weekly, how we could use a daily, and even the structure of the 5-minute that I like to trade when I'm focused on day trading. How do I want to position myself? Well, my preference is, based on the structure, to be short. That means then my focus is going to be, can price action reach the resistance zone? And you can see there's your 8:30 a.m. candle. Here's your 8:35 a.m. candle, right into the range of the hourly price movement, right? It's the hourly price movement range. It's a process that I created over a decade ago using time and volatility to identify support and resistance levels, well, frankly, that most traders aren't going to see because they're using usually price-based levels, not time, not volatility. This becomes the short. Follow through, of course, took us through the bell, through the clearing. But keep in mind, our first target for this was just about 37.53. And then we can continue to manage this from my favorite kind of stop, a break even or a trailing. And that's exactly what the morning provided us, based on using time and volatility. So that was one example. Now, crude oil had a heck of a move today too. So let's talk a little bit about crude. So first thing we see is that the hourly price movement ranges triggered a warning right here. How do they do so? With a simple flip. This is a great thing this indicator does. When volatility is beyond the historical norms, instead of a green support zone on the bottom and a red resistance zone on top, this thing flips. And the reason it flips is to reflect the higher volatility. That's an immediate visual warning. So we don't look to take any trades between 9 and 10 o'clock. Unless you've already done something earlier in the session, which, by the way, very reminiscent of the S&P, there's your hourly price movement range. As the market gets out of this flipped area, we start looking for the market to act in more accordance with the overall movement of typical historical volatility. And that gave us a quick short from resistance to support, this zone to this zone, and then not much else. After 10:30, 10:45, really, you can see that trade, it's over, and we started to transition. Well, that fast forwards us through the lunchtime doldrums. You don't want to be day trading through the doldrums, gang. Time matters. Here's 1:35. This is when we start getting reacclimated to what kind of PM or afternoon session do we have. And you can see here our hourly price movement range is just stair-stepping higher. This is what we like to do. Focus on the wave, focus on the hourly price movement ranges. And then remember, since about 12:30, 12:40 p.m. Eastern forward, we had an uptrend. You start combining the power of stacked moving averages. That's what this tool is right here. The Momo and the trend. And this tool down in here, which reflects the history of that Momo and trend. Now you understand how to adapt to AM and PM, and then even a pre-market setup. I hope this is something that makes sense to those of you that are wondering, how do I day trade? I'm frustrated. Think about the three windows we talked about in this video alone: pre-market, AM, and PM. Think about volatility and time. All right. And if you haven't already, this is basically the last call. Tomorrow is the last trading day, our live trading for the Dominate 2022 day trading class, our survival guide. And you can get the class and 1 year worth of updates, get the most accurate readings on these hourly price movement ranges, because it is volatility that we're studying, and volatility is always expanding and contracting. So 1 year of updates and the class through tomorrow, right? I think by Saturday, I don't know when they're going to pull it, but they're pulling it soon. Tomorrow's the last day, as far as I know. And after that, the class and the subscription to the indicators are going to be separate. Right now, you can get the class, all 4 days of the live trading recording, and 1 year for one price, right? After that, there'll be two different prices and essentially twice the price. So what we want to remember is time, volatility, keep an eye on the clock. And if setups like this are interesting to you, check out the Dominate 2022 Day Trading, simpletrading.com/guide. If you already have, awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. If it's something you're on the fence about, hey, I just want to let you all know, as long as the deal is available, as long as this bundle is available, I want you to be able to take advantage of it. Starting next week, we're going to get more into some macroeconomic breakdowns. Starting next week, I'm also going to be diving into market structure, automating support and resistance, automating also understanding choppy market overbought and oversold levels. Check that out next week. I'll have that in the Tuesday video, and we'll definitely be diving into that starting on Monday with charts and coffee. So lots of stuff I want to share with you all as we navigate the remainder of this summer. I'll talk to you in the next update. Hey traders, Raghi from Simpler Trading. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to leave a like and a comment below. And remember, subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll get notified of the next update. And when you're ready to join me for live trading, be sure to head on over to simplertrading.com. I'll see you in the next update.